Hello everyone. This video is going to be about finding your peace after narcissistic abuse. And the hardest part, once you discover what's been done to you by your narcissistic parents or your narcissistic mother, whatever your case may be, is once you make the decision to go no contact with your narcissistic parents, your mother, and the rest of your narc family, because that's definitely a must, is that the biggest challenge is just finding that peace because of the anxiety, just being around that narcissistic environment that you've been brought up around on. You often wonder, is it ever possible to find that peace once you go no contact? And that answer really depends upon you. Once you discovered what's been done to you, and once you've done your own research by Googling it and educating yourself, empowering yourself about narcissism and knowing what it is, and watching channels like mine and many others out there, because there are several channels about narcissism. And it really depends upon you, because every person's different. Some people are struggling to break contact with their narcissist. Some of them still are hung on to that hope that their narcissist will change. Given enough time, thinking that time will answer everything, time will solve everything. But in reality, it doesn't solve anything, because your narcissist will never change. They may act like they're going to change, but that's only short-lived, long enough to keep you in their grasp. But if you really, really want peace, if you really, really want and seek that peace that you're wanting from your narcissist, you have to absolutely make the decision to go, stay, and maintain no contact. And for those of you out there that really can't be in a position to do so, you will get there one day. Because you should never let one day pass without thinking of some type of plan to break away from your narcissist. It can be done. Even though you may have a narcissist, or that you do have a narcissist that makes it look and feel like it's impossible. That's what they want you to believe. Whether it be a narcissistic mother, father, siblings, the enabling relatives like uncles, aunts, friends associated with your narcissistic family, they all want you to believe that there's no such thing as peace as long as you're around. But you have to convince yourself. And also learn, not just from my experience, but every channel that you watch and subscribe to. Because there's many of them out there that are survivors like myself. Ollie Matthews, narcissism survivor, delusion dispeller, Smackintosh. People like us and many others are survivors. And I would say that we would be examples and the inspiration to inspire you, to those of you that are really struggling with wanting to depart from your narcissist. And let me tell you something, like I said, you will get there. And once you will get there, then the challenge is finding that peace, because your narcissist loves to instill a lot of worry, anxiety. They really feed off on that. And then you feel like you have no peace. But making the decision, really the ultimate decision, is going no contact. And to those of you that are able to go no contact and really made a decision, you've made the best decision ever to go no contact. And a challenge for you would be to stay and maintain no contact. And those of you that have reached that stage, have broken free from your narc, then the journey becomes getting yourself healed, empowering yourself as much as possible about narcissism, getting the therapy that you need. And like I said time and time again, yes, it's very difficult to find a therapist that has really experienced narcissism. But however, in a way, I don't really rule out therapy at all, in a way that they're with the thought patterns and things that your narc has really programmed into you. Therapy would help tremendously in reprogramming you in the way that you should be reprogrammed, and that's completely opposite of what your narcissist has drilled into you. And it takes, I have to admit, it takes a lot of work. This is something that you just can't do with a flip of a switch. It's something that you just can't do overnight. Just like you can't lose weight overnight. Nobody can, not even myself. But it takes a lot of hard work. It really does. Once you start working on getting yourself empowered, getting the therapy that you need, and reprogramming, deprogramming yourself from all the crap that your narcissist has drilled into you for years upon years since you were a kid, like I said, takes work. And how long really also depends upon the individual. You have to look at your therapist as someone to give you the tools that you need to get where you want to be. And you want your way of thinking to be really different from what was beaten to your head about by your narc. Just like what several videos back I talk about triggers. And I think a while back somebody had wanted me to do a video about PTSD and the symptoms. But really, the way I look at PTSD, and this is just my perspective of it, PTSD is really like something that triggers. It's a trigger thing, a particular song. Like I said, it could be triggered from anything. Maybe a certain event that kind of took you to a moment and it just induces panic within you or induces anxiety. That's PTSD. It's post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a particular event that just comes. Even Halloween itself can be a trigger. Halloween costumes, movies. It could be something so simple as that. It could be, like I said, a song, maybe a certain event that has happened that kind of takes you back to what your memory recollects about it. To me, that's PTSD, but I haven't really done any further research, but I just know that PTSD is just something that just triggers a memory and it just causes a lot of anxiety. So for the person who had commented a while back about PTSD, check out my video about triggers. And hopefully maybe that video would help you out. What the real symptom of PTSD is just any type of event that would trigger an anxiety attack. It takes you back to that memory that a narc had beat into your head or something that happened with you and your narc, growing up. It could be a lot of things. But anyway, once you really gone through therapy and you start making yourself as healthy as you possibly can be, because that's also important. You have to be healthy for you. And when you decide to be healthy for you, you have to do it for yourself and yourself only, not to please anybody, but you do it for you. And start doing things and trying to discover yourself and find yourself through hobbies or through do things you like to do, things that maybe you try and all of a sudden discover that you're good at it. That's finding yourself. But once you find out and discover who you are through that and through therapy, and even before that, become the mother that you needed to heal that wound in your child, which should be first. Once you do that, do the therapy, help to reframe, kind of like change your thought patterns, kind of deprogram the narcissistic crap that your narc programmed to you. Working on that and then really reprogramming your thinking to help you have a better perspective on things and discovering yourself, finding yourself. Then from that point, day by day, as you get mentally stronger, you will find that peace. But it all comes with taking your power back and cutting off your narc. That's what it takes, because I've really found my peace. And I would have to say, probably about for maybe past month or two, I found my peace. Right now I'm peaceful. I'm happy. I discovered myself through 4 confirmations of what God has sent down my path to confirm what His calling is for me and help me discover what I'm really good at and the talent that He instilled in me. And I'm following that. I'm pursuing that. And I always believe that once God opens a door for you, no man, no devil in hell can ever shut that door. And now that I'm going to be in the fitness field, I know that there's nothing that my narc sisters, those pieces of shit sisters of mine, bio sisters, I don't care what their connections are or who their connections are. Hey, God's opened His door for me, and those bitches can't do nothing to shut that. So look out. Watch out. Because I'm coming up. Or what Diana Ross says, the old song, I'm coming out. Well, that's me. And like I said, it takes work within yourself. You have to really work on you, and it's going to be a struggle. And there's times I may get flashbacks from time to time, but thanks to my therapist, she's really helped me to really minimize that and make it less effective on me, to where it doesn't mean anything to me anymore. It's like I acknowledge it, I know where it came from, I call the name out wherever it came from, whether it came from my lard butt sister, I say, shut up, lard ass, you ain't shit, or my stupid narc mother, I just call her dumbass. And then, I got gold digger number 1, gold digger number 2. And I was like, you're all or nothing, you're all powerless. Whatever trigger comes up, and I know where it comes from, I call it out. And I tell it to shut the hell up. You're nothing, you're powerless. I'm better than you. And each time I do that, those triggers become way less effective. It doesn't affect me anymore. And there might be some times where some triggers may come and it might be a little struggle for me. But if I stick to what's been taught to me in therapy, which my therapist has really been very, very helpful. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the experience with narcissism, and I know she's just one of those therapists that's read about it, and, but she's never really experienced it. But I can learn a lot from her. She does listen to what I have to say, and, I don't agree with her, she respects that, and that's what you look for in a therapist. You don't want a therapist that's going to argue with you, and she never argues with me, but if I tell her I don't agree, then it's like she's okay with that, and she's like, well, I agree to disagree, and we just leave it at that. So that's what you really want to look for in a therapist. But yeah, searching that peace, you will get there. But it's just like with anything, you gotta take it one day, one step at a time. Just like when I first launched this channel and getting my story out there about what's been done to me by my narcissistic mother and late enabling father and the piece of shit sisters that I have, bio sisters. Knowing, ever since I launched this channel and got my story out there, I was just like many of you, hurt, stunned, in shock, pissed off, enraged, torn. Believe me, I've been there and you're not alone. I will always say that several times because I know where you're at. And believe me, you have my validation because I feel your pain. I know where you're at. And look at me now, a year from now. And you can do it. You can find that peace. Don't ever let anybody ever tell you that you cannot find that peace, not even your narc. Because they don't want you to have peace. They want you to be a basket case, full of anxiety, full of fear, full of self-doubt. But you have to choose what you want to believe. Because if you want to believe your narc's BS, then that belief will become your reality. What you believe becomes your reality. But you can turn that around, because I have. I've turned it around. I have my good days, I have my bad. But I'm able to deal with the bad days a lot better than I ever could. Bad days and means are triggers for me. And right now, even up to now, I don't have anything from my narc family that's trying to contact me or try to start anything. I haven't seen any of that happening, but it never crosses my mind that they're still plotting, even though I had really cut them my narc mom off a year ago. But you know what? I'm able to live my life, and I refuse to let that narc piece of family that I once belonged to, that narc piece of shit bio family that I once belonged to, I don't let those bitches disturb my peace. I still am able to live my life the way I please, the way I see fit, and I call the shots. And now I'm on my way to fulfill a purpose that God's put in my heart to do, and that is the fitness world. That is where I belong. And so, I really am a fighter, and you can too. Please share with me your story at where you're at in your recovery, or at the point of where you're at as far as the narcissistic abuse that you've been subjected to. Please share with me your story about where you're at in your recovery. Because believe me, you're not alone. I understand where you're coming from because I've been there. And I really want to thank everyone for watching and subscribing to my channel. And for those of you that's followed me for a very long time, has really seen the transformation in me. Right now, just to give you an update on my weight loss, I've lost 53 pounds. So I'm down from 210, I'm down to like 207. So I've lost 3 pounds this week. So I'm keeping myself healthy, as always. And I make my workouts the #1 priority. And like I said, I'm going to get down to about 190 pounds. So That's about what, another 17 more pounds I gotta go. So I'm not too far from my weight loss goal. And with each pound loss, I feel so much peace. And I also want you and encourage you to check out my Driven to Be Fit channel, where I talk about fitness. And at some point, I'm going to try to do some videos to really show you that any exercise can be modified. And I would know that even a personal trainer would even tell you the same thing that I'm telling you, that any exercise can be modified, because people are at different fitness levels and abilities, and you gotta start somewhere. Because believe me, when I was at 260, I sure the hell wasn't fit. And I had to start all over again, just like a beginner. And now, look at me now, I've progressed. I'm more intermediate to advanced. And now I want to help others lose weight. And that's why I want to do the Driven to Be Fit channel, because I also know what it's like to be overweight. I know what it's like to be looked down upon in society. To be looked down upon as like you're lazy, you're fat, you don't do nothing, yada yada yada. I know what that's like. I know the stereotyping. I know the cruel, mean things that people say, that have said to me. I've been down that road. But it's driven me to really, not so much the meanness and the bad comments, but looking in that mirror and not liking what I see really, really motivated me. It really kicked me in the ass to finally do something about it. And 53 pounds gone forever now. And I've gotten rid of all my fat clothes. And I'm down to a size 14 from a plus size 24. It's the greatest feeling in the world. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this video now. Stay tuned for the next video, whatever that video may be, but you can find that peace. And don't let your narc or anybody else tell you otherwise. So this is Mary Ellen signing off. I wish you love. And above all else, I do wish you peace. Thank you for watching. Share my videos any way you like to. And those of you that stumbled onto my channel, if you like my channel, please subscribe. And please share my channel in any which way that you would like also. So this is Mary Ellen signing off. Thank you, take care, and be good to yourself. Bye, friends.